Mitchell joins us as Chief Marketing Officer for Snap. He's their first ever Chief Marketing Officer, and he oversees everything from consumer and product to all the marketing programs. Thanks so much for joining us, Kenny.
Thanks for having me. How can I be batting cleanup when A-Rod was on the count? Like, I don't even understand this.
Because Kenny, you led the nation. Everybody who's watching, this is real. This man, this handsome man who's lost like 10 pounds visually. I'm impressed. I need to talk to you about that. You look in shape during this time. I'm impressed. You've lost some weight, I can tell. This man led the nation in assists. The NCAA. This man led the nation in assists. This is a talented, multi-dimensionally talented man. And that's why you get to do cleanup, because you also are a world-class athlete and had your moment to shine. Tell the details, Kenny. Don't be humble, and then I'll do the full intro.
So I love your diversity of going from a MLB Hall of Famer to an Ivy League, point guard. Yeah, my senior year in college, I had the distinction of leading the nation in assists, the NCAA in assists, and I love to
shout out to your school.
Big shout out to Dartmouth. Hey, Big Green. I love to tell the story that same year, the person who led the nation in scoring was none other than Tim Duncan, who went on to play 19 years in the NBA, make $200 and some odd million, 5 championships, and I became a marketer. So we're like essentially
the same.
The same. Yeah.
Kenny, what is your Twitter handle for everybody? Because the quotes and the screenshots have been crazy. The hashtag is marketing for the now.
At KMitch.
I
was an early enough adopter to actually have my nickname.
KMitch, M-I-T-C-H. Kenny, give everybody 1 minute on the incredible Hall of Fame marketing career at Gatorade, at McDonald's, now Snap, and anything else I missed.
Yeah. So I've spent the preponderance of my career actually at PepsiCo. I was leading marketing, or a variety of marketing roles at Gatorade, most notably, where I got to the humbling experience of leading an iconic brand and working with some of the best athletes of the world, best properties of the world, some of the sharpest marketing minds of the world. Spent a little bit of my career as well at McDonald's. Spent some time actually at NASCAR.
Literally a cup of coffee. And on the record, shout out to McDonald's. I like their coffee. Not too long ago, because then you had a big opportunity.
Yeah. I got a big opportunity here at Snap. It's a platform that I've been a believer in as an advertiser since the very beginning. And it started during my time at Gatorade. Gatorade is such a consumer-driven company that it was not uncommon for us to be spending time directly with our consumer, which are competitive athletes. And they were telling us back in 2011 and 2012, like, this is Snap. This is where it's at. This is how I communicate with my friends. We actually would get questions from Gatorade's version of influencers, which are like athletic trainers, nutritionists, dietitians, and they're like, "Is this just for sending nudes? Like, what's this thing about?" So our team had to kind of do a deep dive to just learn about the platform, and really believed in this notion of this generation kind of transforming the way that they communicate, and communicating visually as being like the primary format of doing that, whether it be sending photos or sending videos, and it's just like an incredibly sticky use case, and doing it with your friends was something that we just thought was like super compelling. So the moment Snap started allowing advertising, I think it was 2015, we were one of probably the first 5 or 10 to market, and really learned the platform incredibly well. Saw a tremendous amount of value in the creativity of the ad products, the reach of the consumer. They were a pain in the ass to work with, to be honest. Especially
they were so young.
Yeah,
they were so young.
Exactly.
These big companies. I mean, this is what's happening with TikTok, and it's what's going to happen with the next 4. Like when you're so young, right?
Yeah. You're trying to figure things out. So we were patient.
Kenny, I apologize for interrupting, but I'm just like too anxious for this question, because I'm real curious. I actually don't know the answer to this. What's the biggest thing that marketers and the consumer world doesn't know about Snap?
I'd say the one insight that you would find really interesting that's probably not well known is that the scale of the platform. One example of that is that in the US, Snap has more a larger community of 25 plus people than Twitter has in all of the US.
Say it one more time for people to hear.
I'll say it one more time for the people in the back. Because Snap is known as a platform for younger folks. We have more people in the US 25 plus than Twitter has in all of the US, all ages. So
and what is that grounded in? Is that grounded in downloads US active?
That's grounded in daily active users versus Twitter's version of the monetizable daily active users. So it's an apples to apples comparison. So the scale is actually tremendous. And part of the reason for that is that it's a private platform. Snap is a closed platform. So understanding the user experience only happens when you're actually using the platform, which is not true for Twitter, not true for Instagram, not true for Facebook. They're all feed-based platforms.
Which changes the viral loop, which makes it deeper, but maybe not as wide potentially, but to your point, wider than most think.
Wider than many think. It allows.
What about Snapchat Originals? Talk to me about that.
Oh, Snapchat Originals, amazing. So it is essentially, us working directly with talent, with production companies, and basically building out original programming. And one of my favorites that we recently did was with Will Smith and his production company, the Westbrook Production Group. Basically thinking about what's happening right now. Will wanted to find a way to kind of like inspire and uplift people. So he created this program, Will from Home, where he was literally at home and kind of connecting with his friends, former castmates, other talent, just kind of like telling the story of what it's like to be at home right now, reminiscing on different, activities that they've done together. It performed incredibly well for us. It reached like 35 million people over the course of the program. And Will himself, like he's done an incredible job, him and his production company, of understanding how to build for mobile.
He's a communication beast, and communication beasts win on all platforms.
Absolutely.
Period, end of story.
Absolutely.
Period, end of story.
So, we have across originals, we have them that are created not just in the US, we have originals in Europe, originals in Asia. And the scale of it is actually really phenomenal. We have somewhere between 50 or 60 different shows that reach 10 million community members during a given season, which is pretty darn miraculous.
What's been the difference between marketing a platform, because your job is to market the platform, versus marketing a beverage or a QSR? Like, what's been the biggest shift? Because that is a shift.
It is. I'll tell you that the places where I think it's been really, really fascinating. One is having been an advertiser and now having accountability both for the consumer side as well as the advertiser side. I know the sales pitches that have come in when I've been on the other side of the table, and also what that means in terms of where the gaps may be in terms of the way that Snap has told its story. So that's been, I think, benefited from having that perspective and that point of view, but that's also been wildly different. I've never had as many stakeholders to think about as you're building out messaging. One from a consumer perspective, one from an advertiser perspective, another from an agency perspective, maybe some from a DR advertiser. So it's the stakeholders and trying to find messaging that is that's addressing the variety of their needs has been pretty different.
What's on your mind through this thing? What is a top priority for Kenny and Snap during this 6, 7, 8, 12, 18-week period? Like, what's kind of, when I say what's on your mind and putting on your professional hat, what kind of comes to the top?
The thing that's been the biggest priority for us has been kind of embracing the responsibility that we have to support our community. A communication highway. Yeah, which it's important. It's a responsibility. Well, also with the Snapchat generation, right? So they're younger folks, right? So think of Gen Z, think of younger millennials. That's kind of like the bread and butter of who makes up our community, and making sure that we are providing them the education, providing them the inspiration, providing them the engagement. It actually, as a leadership team and as a company, we've actually felt a tremendous responsibility to help ensure that we're providing the right tools, the right education, the right information to make sure that our community is well supported during such like a tricky time. If it's a platform that's actually built for communication for those that are closest to you, like, God damn, it could be a more important time to be communicating with those closest to you than right now. So that's been a big focus of ours.
Kenny, what was the biggest exciting thing in your career from Starstruck? Because I think about Gatorade, I'm just being selfish now. Listen, I've been going hard here for 2 hours, so I'm just going selfish now. Like, what was the most, like, I cannot believe I'm hanging out with D Wade would be the one I'm guessing, but there's some other crazy stuff. Snap now too, like, you've been in some places, my man. So I'm trying to think about, like, just on some honest shit, on some honest human shit. Cause one of the fun things about marketing for the now for me is we want the world to, I'm a marketer that real people know.
Mm-hmm.
And the lineup that we're putting over the next 6 weeks is really, I want the world to know marketers. We have an inner industry that knows who these people are. 99% of the world doesn't know who the CMO of anything is. And
Yeah.
I want people to get to know more of the people that I admire, whether I know them well or I don't know them at all, on this marketing, now program. So I'm trying to go into Kenny the human for all the people that are following you now that are going to build a real relationship with you. Give me a true human story. Where were you like calling your like moms or like your girl or like your buddy, like, you will not believe the commercial I'm doing tomorrow. Like, give me the true thing. Probably when you met GaryVee, I get that. But besides that, by the way, for the record, when he met GaryVee, he was like, who the fuck is this dude? So go ahead.
So first of all, I have actually hung out with you in public and have watched scores of people request a photo or so, like, don't suggest that you're something other than a celebrity yourself. But I've really been fortunate. I've had a chance to work with the likes of Michael Jordan or Serena Williams or Peyton Manning or Usain Bolt. But I tell you, one of my absolute favorites is Dwayne Wade.
He's the best human.
He's just a great human being. He has a great team around him. And I've actually had the privilege of traveling with him for some international programs that we've done on the Gatorade business. And one that was like incredibly eye-opening is actually both of them had this dynamic to it. But we went to China and then we went to Australia over the course of about 1.5 years. And when we went to China and we landed, there were 1,000 people at the airport waiting. It felt like the Beatles were kind of coming to town. And I personally had never seen anything like that. So like to kind of be wading through the exit of the airport and seeing all of the love and adoration and folks crying, like it was really insane.
Nice.
And then when we went to Australia, it was during the NBA lockout. So I think it was like 2011, I think was the year. And I remember we were doing like this appearance and some dinners and a few other things. And this cat tweets out like, hey, I'm going to be at this place doing this thing. He tweets it out maybe like a half hour or an hour before the actual appearance happens. And I swear to God, there's like 5,000 people outside.
That's amazing.
It was insane. So we do the appearance and the media stuff inside. He walks outside and it looks like Lollapalooza. And it was pretty remarkable.
Kenny, you're one of my favorites. Keep up the good work. I really, really appreciate you. Thanks for being a part of this. We're going to definitely ask you to be back on.